So for those of you who don't know, this is Amy Chadwick. So just a quick introduction for Amy. She has a really rich history in wellness with a 20-year background in nursing, and that includes an emphasis on women's health, employee wellness, behavioral and mental health, cardiovascular care. It just seems like she's done it all. Along with that, she's been a certified health coach for 6 years, and she specializes in weight loss, stress management, behavior change, and gut-brain health. Amy's also the founder of mywellnessrn.org, and that's where she ties her rich background together and offers her clients solutions for a healthier life. So I'm really, really excited to have you here, Amy. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks, Nicole. I'm really happy to be here too. This is a really great topic and super relevant for everybody's, I guess, overall emotional, psychosocial, physical,
like
spiritual,
everything.
Why not throw that in there, well-being.
So in your own words, can you kind of tell us about what you do and how it applies to gut health? So I know you mentioned the connection with what you're doing today, but maybe dating back to your days as a health coach and things like that.
Sure. As I was saying before, I really like to address a person as a whole. We're made up of so many different categories and subcategories of what comprises us, of who we are. And really I address the physical aspect, and I'm including myself in this. So physical, you want to look at your sleep, super important, exercise, activity, super important, what am I putting in my body, which is sometimes honestly at the top of the list over everything else. Supplementation, actually getting out and breathing different air, traveling, getting different soil exposure, if we're really talking about the gut here, all of these things that kind of breed better bacteria, because we are made up of over 100 trillion of them. you might as well make them a good range. And then honestly, the mental emotional part, we're learning more and more about the gut brain axis. And I mean, when I was a psych nurse at UCLA, this was just emerging, and really a lot of the kids there were struggling with dealing with all these new meds and diagnoses, and trying to get them actually in this healthy state, a de-stressed state, and able to, calm their nervous system. And with that, again, really, you can tie that into gut health now that they're studying that, and things like the GAPS diet have been developed from those early times, and helping these kids to get a better, overall health, starting from the belly, working itself out. I really believe in things such as staying hydrated, drinking water, flushing out toxins, pooping every day.
It's a good thing to do.
It is a good thing to do. And then, your basics, such as avoiding toxins, biological hazards, staying away from huge amounts of plastics, things like that. Those are all things I try to practice on a daily basis that will really help to decrease the inflammation. So how can we decrease the amount of inflammation we're exposed to in our bodies each day?
And you're finding that starts in the gut?
Yeah, a lot of the time. I mean, from personal experience. So how do we get the best cells, the best bacteria, the best, variety in there to start getting rid of some of those toxins? Because we're going to be exposed to toxins day in and day out. We're going to be exposed to it.
Guaranteed.
But if we have the right soldiers on the field to deal with that, then we're going to be able to get rid of them. We're going to be able to cope better. Our mental emotional health actually is going to be better. And again, these are all rooted in studies and looking at basically the link to gut health and then all these outcomes.
So how would you, like, in your own words, describe the gut microbiome and its importance and how it has an impact on our lives and our health? Really?
Yeah.
How would you describe that?
Well, the funny thing is, considering we are basically made up of all of these bacteria, I mean, we have cellular structure and other things in there too, but, and then these bacteria basically synthesize minerals, vitamins, they can regulate your mood, sleep, uh, whether you're obese, not obese, uh, whether you poop, whether you don't poop. I would say that basically it's really important that we have a solid gut microbiome. I mean, a very, again, diverse, well-rounded gut microbiome. And, just to share a little personal experience with the importance of having a healthy gut biome, I went through a couple health things probably about a year and a half ago. And leading up to that, I started noticing like a lot of head fog. I started noticing I didn't have the energy that I did. I couldn't find the worst is I'd be talking like we are right now, and I literally for the life of me couldn't find my words to the sentence.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, what is going on? I was like, oh my gosh, this is Alzheimer's, like I need to be tested. What's wrong with me? And I actually, found out that I had some serious stuff going on and I had to have a major surgery. And after that surgery, again, it continued this really weird lack of energy. My mood was really funky. I just wasn't feeling like myself. And then there's this girl I know who introduced me to some supplements.
Cool.
If I can make a plug for New Earth right now. And I started, like, I've always been pretty well read, especially with the health and wellness background, but really getting in the diversity of my food groups, as well as the enzymes, as well as I feel like the algae has made a massive difference. And all of a sudden my body started responding. 2, 3 p.m., I'm not falling asleep. I'm finding my words. I am going to patient appointments with doctors, and I'm like on it. I'm making sure that I'm, crossing my T's, dotting my I's. It was crazy. My sleep was better. My bowel function was better. I was like, wow. And then really started diving into some research about the connection. And I was like, that was it. I was sold, and I've just been really committed to making changes. And honestly, the supplements have been amazing for me. So I can't talk about them enough.
That's a good problem to have.
It is.
You said a couple things that I found really interesting. What I heard you say was basically that bacteria runs my life.
Yeah.
Did I hear you correct? Okay, so
honestly, yeah. I mean, you are what you eat. Your bacteria, they can actually create food cravings. That was really interesting to me when I was doing my research a while back. Like, I don't want chocolate. The bacteria that I have farmed from eating too much chocolate wants the chocolate.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. So it's real easy to to kind of go into your head about, oh, this is me, I can't control this. Well, honestly, you're right. Some of it you don't have a lot of control of. What you do have control of is changing the diversity, changing your microbiota, and hopefully getting different cravings in there now. Cravings of like fruit and vegetables.
The things you want to crave.
Chocolate or chalk or ice or some other weird things that if you are mineral deficient because your bacteria are off, there's a thing called pica, and that's one of the things you crave. Paint chips.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea.
Yeah, so yeah, it is important unless you enjoy eating paint off your walls.
Well, I hope to never be doing that. I picture like these little monsters inside me. Num 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 num. So You said one other thing. You were talking about how you felt when you started introducing New Earth supplements
Yes.
back to your life after you'd gone through some health things. Now, do you remember what product or what products?
Yeah. So I started with essentials.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That was the easiest, go to. It's super convenient. You get at least some probiotic and enzyme in it. But, just something about it wasn't quite hitting enough of what I needed.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I added Mind. So I take a couple Mind on top of the essentials. And that after a month of doing that, that's when I completely noticed the difference with my head fog and energy. It was crazy. It was like a light switch.
So let's talk a little bit about health coaching. So I understand that you've been a certified health coach for quite some
Mhm.
time now, over 6 years. What's one of the biggest challenges that your clients typically face when it comes to health and gut health?
Sure. One of the biggest challenges that I have had or people have experienced, honestly, is being stuck in their own story. So lodged in habit, stuck in what I call neural pathways of the same thing over and over again, and then trying something on new for, a month, 2 months, but the neural pathway or the new habit hasn't had a chance to actually sink in. And so they give up because their story is, I can't do this. I've tried this so many times. It doesn't work for me. I don't like this. It costs too much money. I'm not, and in their head, especially with the money thing, it's like they're not attributing the fact that they're worth it, and that's another big issue is having people understand, you're worth it. Your health is worth it. Your body's worth it. So the way I kind of go around that is understanding what their motivation is, what their big factors are, what their why is. And so I have, if I can use for my heart patient, so I have a 9-year-old right now, and her why is she wants to live to 91. So, she's going to get on board because with changes with, a low salt diet, with watching her fluids, that type of thing, because her why is, I want to beat everybody else out that all made it to 89 or 90. I want to be the longest living member, right? So she had motivation. Well, for me, it was like today, for instance. I had a stressful day. I came home, and what did I want? I wanted sugar. That's my pathway. That's my coping mechanism sometimes when I had a rough day. And so my why, I had to sit and think about it. I'm like, oh, well, think about it. When you eat sugar, what happens? Well, your stomach hurts and you get a bellyache and you actually get wired and you stay up all night. And is that worth it? Because tomorrow you're going to feel like junk. You're probably, you're not getting to your goal of, again, more whole foods, especially after the holiday.
No kidding.
And so like I seriously had a self conversation and did some self talk around it and was like, no, this is really important. My health is important. I know how I feel. It doesn't feel, after I eat sugar, it doesn't feel great, and I don't want to do that to myself. So it's kind of swinging that picture around of, yeah, it's an old habit, it's an old story. Well, what is really important to you? And why are you doing this? Why did you join the gut reboot? That's what you have to ask yourself. What is your why? And if you find yourself falling off, maybe you need to look at something even more motivating or important to get you back on track. Or maybe you just like, hey, I had a bad day. I'm going to start again tomorrow. That's all you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically one of the hardest things for people to hurdle, for a person to get through, is all these lodged habits, and then reframing it, changing it, and understanding their motivating factors to do that.
I like that because it's you said something that was, I think it was something along the lines of they're stuck in their old story. I think that's what it was.
They are, yeah.
Basically,
A lot of people.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
A lot of people, for like diet especially, when they get that craving, because that will be there. And again, if you have trained your gut bacteria to crave certain foods, it will be there. It will show up. And so a lot of people will say, well, it's just this time, or I can never do this. I can't make it happen. You hear that a lot. I'm a failure. I'm never going to succeed. I've done this 100 million times. And then, refocusing on, okay, well, you may not have done it right now, but like, what can you do? What's going to get you up tomorrow and try again? What are those important things? What is that story? How do you shift your story to get you into a different habit? And that is what it takes, is you sitting down, having an honest conversation with yourself, or maybe a family member, and have the accountability, and then having that behavior change.
That's awesome. So first off, 2 minutes. We all have extra 2 minutes, right? Like,
yeah,
almost in like every hour we have an extra 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah. And then the other thing was the simple is laughing, right? And so I think a lot of us have people that we interact with every day. I hope everyone has people they interact with every day that makes them laugh. So really, really simple ways that don't cost anything, that cost hardly any time, that we can use throughout our day to de-stress. I think that's phenomenal. So thank you for providing those tips.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, like I said, I can't stress, I can't stress enough the importance of de-stressing.
So let's shift the conversation a little bit and talk about elimination, right? We can't talk about microbiome without talking about elimination. So poo, right? What does our microbiome have to do with poo?
Well, let's just put it this way. We all would not exist if we didn't poop. So pooping is as important pretty much as drinking water, breathing air, that type of stuff. People die if they don't poop. So when you ask how important it is, it's very important. As far as the microbiome is concerned, basically your microbiome is the one who's controlling all the stuff that comes out with the poop. So, I don't know if anybody saw my post. There's this fabulous Bristol stool scale that you can access. And these fabulous researchers, 2,000 research actually study participants came together and went and looked at their poop every day for a long time. And so they came up with 7 different categories, and basically category 3 and 4, if you looked at the thing, it's the snake and the hot dog. That was the article. I've heard it called soft serve, like you want it like soft serve and basically a log and a smooth looking log. I mean, that's what a lot of people say. So those are kind of like the ideal. And the way you get those, again, is by having the right bacteria inside to break down all of the fats, the minerals, the fiber, everything in an appropriate way so that you can eliminate. And eliminate, yay, we're getting rid of toxins. We're also decreasing that inflammation again. I can't mention that again enough. But I mean, that's the whole thing, is like you need to get rid of all the byproducts of whatever you eat as well as whatever you metabolize in order to basically clean out and feel your best. I don't know if anybody's been constipated, but if you've been constipated for more than a couple of days, you feel horrible. You can't think. Your stomach hurts so bad. You can't sleep very good. You're probably not that pleasant to be around, frankly. So the importance of it is to go every day. If you can. Normal, they say, is every day, up to 3 times a day. But it needs to be formed. If you're going 3 to 5 times a day and it's not formed, then there's an issue with malabsorption. And this is where, again, the supplements really help with that. They help because they have an enzyme in there that can help break down your food. Some people just some people just have issues breaking down hard fibrous food. And when you're taking these enzymes, you can actually get the minerals and vitamins out of the food. That's super important. So, and again, keeping that fiber going. So 25 milligrams of fiber a day, same thing, it bulks up the stool. So it basically can grab all those other toxins, can grab the extra, like I said, fat and sugars, and you can eliminate it out. And other things that help are drinking your water, because you have to have that hydration, you have to have that fluid to actually be able to push it out. And then also exercise. So with exercise, it increases the motility, like we talked about before, the blood flow afterwards, not during, and that again helps. And that again helps with the elimination process in the long run. So poop is very important, honestly, for your mental health. Like I said, there's that gut-brain axis. You need to keep that regulated. 90% of our serotonin is in the gut. And when you're not pooping correctly, you'll feel that emotionally. And as weird as that sounds, but it's part of it.
Isn't that wild? So something that, I don't know, most people don't talk about, that it's, I guess you could say, politically incorrect to talk about in public, is one of the most important factors when it comes to our health.
I personally think so. You know what's hilarious? I just got to put this in here. So I had no idea. My cousin, so apparently on the Chadwick side of the family, my dad was a civil engineer who worked in wastewater. So he was a poop engineer. My cousin is on the microbiome study for the fecal transfusions at the University of Boston. And apparently here I am talking about poop. So the Chadwick family has no issues with stool.
Oh, that's awesome. You were destined to speak about poo.
Yes. My God.
So just
family.
Just one final question for you. So I understand that you participate in various speaking engagements around Southern Oregon that are always geared toward health and wellness on a variety of topics.
Yes.
Do you have any on the horizon where our audience can see you speak, either online, in person? There's in Central Oregon, anything coming up that, if they might want to, connect with you in the future, see you speak, they can find you?
Sure. I mean, honestly, the best way to connect with me is either you can Facebook message me, or you can go to my website and connect with me there. If you have other questions about health coaching, personal training, microbiome, stress management, anything like that, that's probably the best way to contact me, or mywellnessrn at gmail.com. Again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. So thanks for having me again. I really appreciate it.
You betcha. Awesome. Well, you guys, if you caught this, thanks for tuning in. And we've got some more speakers lined up coming up. So stay strong in the reboot, and we'll check in with you tomorrow. Amy, thanks. Have a great night.
Thanks. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.